All right, come. So Shalom, Shalom, Israel, Shalom to the Torah tribes. Yasha Allah giving the course. All honor, glory, and praise unto the Most High God, Yahweh, and the name of His only begotten Son, Yahawashi. This brother Yasha Allah.
His brother Sarat.
Brother Gad.
Khan, coming back to y'all yet another video through the Spirit by Yahweh, BAHASHAM, Hamashiach, Wamalak Yahawashi. All right, Shalom, Shalom, Shabbat Shalom to the 12 tribes, whoever is keeping the Sabbath, Friday to sundown, Saturday sundown. All praises to the Most High God. Another day of laboring, another day of resting through the Spirit, another day of praising the name of the Lord, man. Another day of laboring, right, for the Most High. So, as you can see from the title of the video, we'd be going into what? Revelation chapter 7, verse 9, the proper understanding. And no, it's not talking about what you think it might be talking about. All right. A lot of Christians, when they read that precept, they always want to isolate certain words, and they'll say, look, that's all you need, and just close the book. For example, they do that with John 3:16, say the world, that's talking about everybody. But that doesn't, always mean it's just talking about everybody, right? So let's go to Revelation 7 and 9 real quick, and let's just read the verse, and we'll present their views and show you when they read this verse, what they think about it, right? Versus what it really means, what it really is going into, right? According to the precepts. So let's go. Khan, can we get brother to read that real quick?
This is Revelation chapter 7 and verse 9. It reads thus. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands.
Right, Khan. So, of course, this is in the book of Revelation. All right, Revelation, remember, is not an easy book to understand. So I don't know why a Christian would go here to try to prove anything. All right, if you can't understand the milk, why go to the meat? Right? So it says, after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man can number, of all nations and kindreds, and peoples and tongues, which stood before the throne, before the Lamb. So they take this, they say, look, all nations, they are kindreds. So that must be talking about, right, everybody. Or when I say everybody, I mean people out of every nation. So meaning the Moabites, Ammonites, Japhites, Edomites, they're all mixed into this thing, and they're all standing before the throne, and here they are, they're being saved by the Most High. So that's what they believe in. And they'll go to preachers like this, brothers that that teach, and you want to make sure that you know how to break down this precept, what it really means, what it really is going into. All right, because you could get confounded by a precept like this if you don't, have the proper context understanding. All right, so let's start at verse 1. So we're going to read up a little bit before we go into the fundamentals of that precept. We're going to read up a little bit, and we're not going to go too in-depthly into these verses, because the main verse is right, Revelation 7 and 9. All right, that's that main verse. But if anybody has been tuning into these videos, you know how we like to go in-depthly. So we're going to get the context. We're going to go into the Greek. We're going to get the precepts. All right. So let's start at verse 1 real quick through the Spirit.
And this is Revelation chapter 7 and verse 1. And it reads, And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind shall not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree.
Right. So that wind is going into that destruction. Right. And go ahead, King.
Verse 2, and it says, I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads.
Servants of God. And who was given the servitude of the Most High? Right? Hey, the Israelites. What's a precept on that? Let's go to the book of Romans. Right? We don't have to get too many precepts on that, because that's fundamental. But let's go to Romans 9 and 4. Right? Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the what? And the service of God and the promises. So these are ethnic Israelites according to the flesh, as it says. They are the ones that's given the service of God. So when it talks about, and of course it's evident in verse 4, but it talks about what? The servants of our God and their foreheads, right? talking about the Israelites, but this is talking about the 144,000, right? Now, brother had a precept on just wanted to get into the service of God, or
Con, I had a precept.
all right, Con, you got it, King.
Con, this is the book of Leviticus, chapter 25 and verse 55. And it reads, "For unto me the children of Israel are servants. They are my servants whom I brought forth out of the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God." Right? So like the brothers going into, Israel is the servants, right? Israel are the servants of the Most High God, right? In Israel only, right? Brothers got it.
Come
Con, that's a fire precept.
on. Let me get this piece here real quick. Yeah. It is First Chronicles 16 and 13. This is First Chronicles 16 and 13. It reads, "O ye seed of Israel, his servant, ye children of Jacob, his chosen one." So basically, clear and cut right there. Hey, his servant is Israel, ye children of Jacob. So we know, like the brother brought out in the law. We went through the Chronicles. We went through a prophet. So to show that his servants is only to what? To the Israelites. It's playing on tables.
Con, yeah, that's those are very good precepts through the spirit. Con, exactly. And we got the brother Uzziah Yasharala, aka I believe this is Marlon, right? Con, it's Marlon.
Shalom,
right?
King.
Shalom, Yahawashim, Shabrakatah, Con. Con, all praises, mighty brother. So yeah, Con, let's keep going, right? So let's go to verse 4. It says, "Oh, Slack, you got it, King."
Oh, you got it, King.
Verse 4, it says, and I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
No, of all nations.
Of the tribe of Israel.
Right, of all the tribes of the children of Israel. So here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. The 144,000, they're the elect. They're the elect of the Most High. In fact, let's hold this. Let's go to the book of Revelation, chapter 14. This is how much the Lord esteems the 144,000. All right, these 144,000, they're not just certain men. This is some random men. Right. Let's go to the book of Revelation, chapter 14, and let's start at verse 1. We're going to skip down. Right.
Okay. This is Revelation chapter 14, verse 1. It reads, "And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written in their foreheads." And I heard it.
Oh, Salaki King. Salaki. It says, "A lamb stood on the Mount Zion, which is Yahawashi, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written in their foreheads." Meaning that these men, 144,000 of them, of every tribe of Israel, they got the father's name written on their foreheads. Not tattooed there. You just see the YAHAWAH right on their forehead. And it's not literal. In their foreheads, meaning their mind, and their father's name, meaning what the father represents. So meaning, and what does the father represent? Righteousness, holiness, etc., etc. So they have it in their foreheads, meaning in their mind. So their mind is ever towards the Most High. They follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. Right? Let's go to verse 3.
It reads thus, verse 3, "And they sung as it were a new song before the throne, and before the four beasts and the elders, and no man could learn the song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth."
Yeah, so you see that nobody can learn the song except for the elect men of Israel, 144,000 of them, right? Nobody can learn the song. Meaning, so like you had a precept, King.
I'm after you, King. So like,
okay, Con. Yeah, let me just finish up this point. Nobody can learn this song, and we know that song is on a spiritual level, meaning nobody can understand this Bible. Nobody can understand the prophecies, etc., like the 144,000 can, right? So, and we're going to get to it. We're going to get into the specifics. Why is it going? Why is it saying 144,000 of Israel? And then who is the Revelation 7 and 9 talking about? Disclaimer: Revelation 7 and 9 is talking about us. It's talking about the 1/3. All right, it's still talking about Israel, but the reason why these men are mentioned by Israel or mention Israel by name is because these men are special, right? And we're about to read that in verse 4. But Khan, you got your precept, King.
Now, I want to get a precept on the elect. This is
Khan.
Isaiah chapter 45 in verse 4. Like the brother was saying, it's already evident that we know who's the elect is based on the precepts. This is Isaiah 45 and 4. It says, "For Jacob my servant's sake, and Israel my elect, I have even called thee by thy name. I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me." So literally, the elect is only could be a Israel as well. So it can be a Edomite, he could be an elect, or a Japhite, or any of the other nations. They could be an elect because only Israel, is the elect. Khan, you got a king.
Yeah, Khan, that's exactly right. Only Israel is the elect. All right, meaning and also they're the only one that has salvation as well, and that's how we know Revelation 7 and 9 is talking about our people as well. But we're going to further substantiate that most are willing.
Okay.
Right. So,
Okay.
Khan, real quick, let's go to verse 4. Right. Here's the point.
Verse 4. This is Revelation 14 and 4. These are these are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto Yahawah and to the Lamb. And in their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of Yahawah.
You see that? Hey, so that's how much the Lord bigs up these men, the 144,000. The Lord said they're not defiled with women, meaning these philosophies and doctrines. They weren't engulfed in. They didn't let Christianity get to them. They didn't let that whore Babylon the Great get to them. They didn't mess with all these women. They're virgins on a spiritual level, right? They're clean. They're what is it? What does it mean to be a virgin on a spiritual level? What does that symbolize? You're undefiled, right? You're pure. You know what I'm saying? And so they are virgins on the spiritual level. They're not dabbling into philosophies and doctrines of men and Christianity, Buddhism, Taoism. They didn't care about that. They're following who? Yahawah, whithersoever he went, whithersoever he goeth. An example of the 144,000 is what? John the Revelator. He's part of that number, man. Because guess what? When Yahawah saw him by the sea, right? When he was with his brother, Yahawah said, "Hey, guess what? Follow me." They dropped everything and followed Yahawah. That's an example of that. They follow the Lamb, whithersoever you go. Right? It says what? These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto God. So they're the first fruits. They're the first spirits that the Most High ever create, along with Yahweh, of course. But these are one of the first people or the first spirits to ever be made. And in their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of the Most High. So the Most High doesn't even deem them, doesn't even lay any sin or fault upon them. That's how much these men are bigged up, right? They're without fault. Does that mean that when they lived their life, they were completely sinless? That doesn't exactly mean that. It means that their heart was perfect with them, just like how David was. His heart was perfect with the Most High, according to the book of First Kings 11 and 4. Job, he was called perfect. You have a lot of men that was called perfect, not only because their works were righteous and that they had faith, it was also because of their spirit as well, right? But Khan, brothers had a precept.
I got a precept of the spirit.
All right,
Basically, leaning back on what you were saying as far as his sheep, they're gonna follow the sheep and they're gonna hear his voice. This classic. This is John 10 and 27. It says, "My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me." So, Yahawah, he made it plain. He know that his sheep will hear his voice, and they will follow me. Whether it's like the brother, like the precept said, whithersoever he'll go. Just like he gave us a brother gave my example of John the Revelator. They literally cast it down and went following the Most High. Didn't say no, why, answer. I mean, kind of buck up against nothing he was saying. They said drop their little casters and follow the Most High. You know, you got a king.
Con, that's right. Gad, you had anything on that point precept?
Con, I got a precept.
Okay, Con, you got it.
Touching on what the brother is saying about the elect, you know, the elect are going to follow, you know, going to follow the Lamb wheresoever he goeth. The elect is going to follow Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, right? This is the book of Song of Solomon. We get the classic, chapter 1 and verse 4. And it reads, "Draw me, we will run after thee. The king hath brought me into his chambers. We will be glad and rejoice in thee. We will remember thy love more than wine. The upright love thee." Right? So the elect, the 144,000, right? The Most High servants, they're going to run after him, right? These other nations aren't running after the Most High, right? So how could it be talking about them? They're not running after the Most High. They don't be glad and rejoice in the works of the Most High, in the feast days, and everything that the Most High comes with, right? It says, reading it again, it says, the upright love thee, right? But before that, Slakia, we will remember thy love more than wine, right? The nations aren't remembering the Most High God. They're not remembering, you know what I'm saying, the Most High when he brought down Egypt and all these other kingdoms. It says the upright love thee, and who's the upright, right? It can't be the wicked, right? The upright is the elect, right? The upright love thee, right? So just touching on that, you know, just to kill that. But brothers, got
No, yeah, Con, those are good precepts that the brothers brought out. Con, exactly. And that's talking about the 144,000, you know? And so, again, right, and this was just a side note, right? It was a side note, but let's keep reading, right? So let's go back to Revelation chapter 7. We kind of have a little understanding about what the 144,000 are, right? Remember, these 144,000 elect men, they're only 12,000 for each tribe. So 144,000 out of millions and billions of Israelites. All right. That's a small number. When you really think about it, that's a very small number. All right. And remember, they are the elect. They're without fault before the Most High. These are the top of the top. These are the elect of the elect. These are the holy of holies. You understand? Because remember, even in the temple, you had a certain place. It was called the holy place. But then only the high priest could go into a certain place called the holies of holies. And so if we're the temple, the 144,000, they represent the holies of holies, because these men are the top men, right? These are the top men. And they're going to be the government, the ruling body in the kingdom of heaven as well, right? And just got a precept to prove that as well. Because this, you know, we really trying to prove Revelation chapter 7, verse 9, but we're going to, you know, expound on this as well since it's in the same chapter. But let's go to Isaiah 9 and verse 7 real quick through the Spirit.
It's Isaiah chapter 9, verse 7. It says, "Of the increase of his government and peace, there should be no end upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it and to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth, even forever. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this."
Yeah, exactly. That's a beautiful precept, because it says, of the increase of his government and peace, there shall be no end. So who's going to be the government? We know that the 12 apostles, the Lord tells them in specific that they're going to be sitting upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. But is it only going to be them? They're the only ones that's judging. No, you're going to have 144,000, right? Because remember, the 12 apostles, they're within that number. All right, they're within that number, the 144,000, and so they're going to be judging. Of course, in terms of the hierarchy, you're going to have the Most High, YAHAWASHI, but also the 12 apostles, right? They have a certain status within the government, of course, right? And so it says, of his government and peace there shall be no end. So there's going to be a government, and that government is going to be who? The house of David on a spiritual level. The house of David representing that the elect. Right, the elect is going to be that government governing body. And so I also got a quick precept on that as well. Another one, Salaki, real quick. I just gotta find this. Okay, it's like I'm gonna look it up real quick. Right. On Con 122 and verse 5, all praises. It says, I can read it, King, through the spirit. It says, for there are set thrones of judgment, the thrones of the house of David. So there are set thrones of judgment, which are the thrones of the house of David. Meaning on a spiritual level, remember the house of David represents the elect, the 144,000. And so there's still going to be these thrones, right? In the kingdom of heaven. Somebody has to inherit these thrones. Somebody has to sit and judge on these thrones, which is going to be the 144,000, right? Brother's got a precept on that.
Cotton line, you can keep going through the spirit.
Okay, Khan. Yeah, we can keep going with that through the spirit. So yeah, Khan. So that's that ruling and governing body. Now let's go to verse 5, right? Let's just, read it for the sake of the context.
All right, verse 5, it says, of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Gad were sealed 12,000. And of the tribe of Asher were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Naphtali were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Manasseh were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Simeon were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Levi were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Issachar were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Zebulun were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Joseph were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Benjamin were sealed 12,000.
Khan. That's right. So 12,000 from each tribe. And just on a sidebar, when you read this, it shows you, well, I'm not going to say coincidentally because nothing is a coincidence, but so-called coincidentally, all these tribes live together in the modern age, in the modern time that we live in right now. Judah, he lives alongside with Reuben and Gad, because Gad and Reuben is the Seminole Indians, Gad is the so-called Native Americans, right, in North America, and Judah is so-called blacks that live in North America as well. Now Israel's everywhere, but I'm just saying on this side of the world, that's where we're at. Asher, right, and Naphtali, they live next to each other as well. Naphtali would be your so-called like Peru and Chileans, Peru and Chile, which is the west part of South America. And Asher would be like the Brazilians, Colombians, et cetera, like that. So on the same type of in the same region, South America, right? Manasseh, the Cubans. Simeon would be the Dominicans. When you go to the Caribbean, a lot of times you see that the Cubans and the Cubans, the people from the Caribbean, in Spanish, I think they'll say the El Caribe, right? They will kind of be in unison with one another. Not in terms of course, they'll still bang, what I'm saying, represent their country. I'm Cuban. I'm not no damn Dominican. But what they'll represent or what they'll agree upon is the fact that they come from that part of the world. So that's just what's interesting is you have the Cubans with the Dominicans, and you had the Levites, of course, the Haitians, and then it mentions Issachar along with who? Zebulun, right? Issachar and Zebulun live very, very close to each other. Go to the geography, Issachar or the land of Issachar, which would be Mexico. Right below it is Central America, which is where the tribe of Zebulun is. You see that? And it talks about Joseph and Benjamin as well. So that's just something that's interesting, what I'm saying, just as a sidebar, right? But yeah, Khan. So getting to the point, right? Revelation 7-9 through the Spirit.
It's Revelation 7-9. It says, and it reads thus: after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands.
Khan. So now when we get to here, we're like, okay, well, we just read about Israel, so then it can't be talking about Israel in this verse. How can it be talking about? Here's how we know that it's talking about Israel. It says a great multitude which no man can number of all nations, right? Now, first of all, we're going to break this down line upon line. That's how the Lord wants us to do it. So when it says a great multitude which no man can number, that sounds familiar. If you read the scriptures, that sounds like something that another prophet had also envisioned as well. A great multitude which no man can number, and they were standing before the throne, and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. We're going to read that in another book. We're going to read that in another book, not outside the Bible, inside the Bible. Right? Let's go to Second Ezra, second chapter, through the Spirit.
The second Ezra, chapter 2, and verse 42.
Yeah, 42.
And it reads thus: I, Ezra, saw upon the Mount Zion, a great people whom I could not number, and they all praised the Lord with songs. And in the midst of them, so like
I would just want to touch on that point. It says, "Whom I could not number." So again, we see that same phraseology right here. When we link this up, it says what? John, he's seen this great multitude. He couldn't number it either. Ezra, he's seen that same great people on who? Where? On the Mount Zion. What do we just read in Revelation 14? Right? What do we just read in Revelation 14? The Mount Zion. Right? The elect was upon the Mount Zion. Is that a coincidence? No, it's not a coincidence. It's because when you read in the Bible, a lot of times the prophets will be shown the same vision, just from a different perspective. Right? Daniel, he was shown a vision. And so when you go to Second Ezra, the 11th chapter, I believe it was, or it might have been the 12th chapter, right? Actually, let's just get that real quick. Let's hold that. Just get that real quick, right? Second Ezra, I believe on 12, and it talks about it was not expounded onto your brother Daniel. Yeah, verse 11, real quick.
Yeah. This is Second Ezra chapter 12, verse 11. It says, "The eagle whom thou sawest come up from the sea is the kingdom which was seen in the vision of thy brother Daniel, but it was not expounded unto him. Therefore, before now I declare it unto thee."
Yeah, you see that? So Daniel, he kind of got like part one of the vision, right? Daniel kind of got part one of the vision. He's sitting up there. He's like, "What the heck does this mean?" You know what I'm saying? He's seeing like seeing all these creatures, right? He's seeing the 10 horns with 7 heads. He's like, "What the heck is this?" So Daniel, he kind of got part one. And so Ezra, he got part two of it, because the Lord said, "Look, it was not expounded onto him. Therefore, now I declare it unto thee." And Daniel, he didn't even live. I mean, he lived relatively around the same time, but it wasn't like Daniel was with Ezra's. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like Daniel lived during the time of the Babylonian Empire as well. Ezra's, namely during when we was coming back, right, from it's like the Persian and Median captivity. So those are kind of like two different time periods. Daniel, he knew Nebuchadnezzar, but Ezra's, he didn't know Nebuchadnezzar, right? I don't think so, right? If I'm not mistaken, he didn't know Nebuchadnezzar one-on-one. Yeah, right? So we see how that's how the Lord works. He will show you maybe one certain part of the vision, or he might even show the same vision to the same prophet, right? And there's many examples of that in the precepts. You know, brothers had a point or a precept on that through the Spirit.
I did have a precept on dang, we kind of went past it, but it's all right, King.
Oh, okay. It's
gonna come back up through the Spirit, but
Okay, con. All right, all praises. Yeah, I just had one more example just to nail it in the coffin. Let's go to the one we was talking about in Isaiah 63 and verse 1. Right? Isaiah seen the same vision as John, or John seen the same vision as Isaiah. All right, let's read this Isaiah 63 and 1.
It's Isaiah chapter 63, verse 1, and it reads this: "Who is this that cometh from Edom and dyed garments from Bozrah, that that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength? I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red in thy apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat?"
Yeah, So all praise to the Most High. So this Isaiah. He's looking at this man. He's coming from Edom with dyed garments from Bozrah, and he's glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. He's like, "Who is this?" And Yahawah was like, "Look, I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save." Now in verse 2, he's saying, "Look, why are you red in your apparel? Why is your apparel red? And thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat, like you've been treading wine all day. Why is it red? Why is it stained?" In verse 3, what does he say in verse 3? Right?
He said, "I have trodden down the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me, for I will tread them in my anger and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment.
Yeah, Khan, exactly. Hey, hey man, that's how the Lord talks, man. But let's go to Revelation 19 and 10. Here's the proof that the prophets sometimes see the same exact vision. Let's go to Revelation 19 and verse 11.
And this is Revelations 19, verse 11. It reads, "And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was was called faithful and true, and in righteousness he doeth judge and make war. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, and he had a name written that no man knew but himself. And his clothes was a vesture dipped in blood,
Dipped
and
in
his
what?
name dipped in blood."
Dipped in blood. It's the same thing. Vesture, right? Meaning your clothing dipped in blood. And his name is called what, Uck?
And his name is called the Word of Yahawah.
So there's no denying that this is talking about Yahushua. You can't just say, oh, that's an angel. Now who is the word of the Most High? It's Yahushua, right? Now let's go to verse 15, right?
Verse 15. "And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, and with that with it he should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of Almighty." Yahawah.
Yeah, Khan, that's right. That's right. And so it's the same phraseology. And he treaded the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of Almighty God. And we're in Isaiah 63, he said, what? I have trodden the winepress alone. So he got red apparel right here in Isaiah 63. And he got red apparel in Revelation 19. What does that show you? Prophets, they see the same vision sometimes, right? So that should be clear, right? So now let's go back to that. If a brother didn't have a point or precept, right, we can continue.
I got a precept touching that.
Okay,
like a lot of these prophets saw the same thing, and you even got brothers in the last days, sisters in the last days, seeing things that are in the scripts. They seeing visions, seeing dreams, and they can link it up right with the scripts. This is the book of Genesis, right? And get the classic. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 49, and verse. I'll just get straight to the point. Verse 11, it reads, binding his fold unto the vine, and his ass colt unto the choice vine. He washed his garments in wine, and his clothes in the blood of grapes. Right, and that's why this book is only for us. The other nations will read that, and they think he's playing around in the grapes. Think he's making wine, right? And this was Jacob. But Jacob, Israel, right? Jacob's name was changed to Israel. He had the same vision that the brothers going into with the other prophets, with Isaiah, with the prophet John. These men all had the same. All had the same visions, and was prophesying about it. Right? Was prophesying about Jacob. Israel prophesied to his sons. Right? He gave them all certain type of prophecies. Right? Like the brothers going into the land, like the landmass of where some of them will be, or what will happen to some of them. Right? But that's the point I wanted. The brothers got it.
Hey, God, I got a point. I'm going back on Second Ezra chapter 12 when the brother pulled I'm gonna read it back 12 and verse 11. It says, "The eagle whom thou sawest come up from the sea is the kingdom which was seen in the vision of thy brother Daniel, but it was not expounded unto him. Therefore now I declare it unto thee." So, hey, I'm gonna get the precept and that kind of links up the how this everything, because some people think the Apocrypha is not so-called canon as well, just to see how they link up. This is Daniel chapter 12 and verse 8. It says, I just get to the point. He says, "And I heard but understood not." So he heard, but he didn't understand what was going on. He didn't get the X-rated version like Ezra did. He said, I heard and I understood not. Then I said, oh my Lord, what shall be the end of these things? So like the brother, like to parallel it, it says the same thing all through the scriptures. It don't contort and say another different, say something different from Genesis all the way to Revelations. Like the brother, a great precept the brother just put out from Genesis, it said the same thing in Isaiah, and it said the same thing in Revelations, just to show that everything coexists. John, you got it, King.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Khan. Those are very good precepts and points, man, that the brothers pull. You know, so it's it just proves the validity of the scriptures, man. You know, they're saying the same thing. It's not like John, he's saying one thing, Yahawashi, he's saying another thing, and then Paul, he get in the mix of it. He's like, no, both of you guys are wrong, because this and that. They're saying the same thing. Isaiah, he saw the same thing, right? If
So like,
Isaiah and Jeremiah, it's like,
Con, you got it, King. I was gonna make another point. Con, you got it.
oh, you just going to make another point? Okay,
Yeah,
Con. Con, so like, let me just finish this quick point real quick, right? And then you got it. But I was just saying, like, hey, look, Isaiah, if Isaiah met Jeremiah, they're gonna agree. You know, they're gonna agree. If Isaiah met Micah, or if Isaiah met Habakkuk, they're gonna agree. Maybe not on every single thing, but they're gonna agree because they're saying the same thing, worship the same God, etc., etc. You know, and probably saw some of the similar same visions. Like I was just talking to the Akim before started. Guess what? Habakkuk chapter 3, yeah, Habakkuk is looking into the future and he's seeing, and we know that a lot of the prophets saw that as well. You know, the second coming of Yahawashi. They what's another prophecy that they saw a lot is especially in the minor prophets, well, especially in the major prophets as well, but a lot of times they saw the kingdom of heaven and the restoration of Israel. Yahweh and Yahawashi restoring Israel and delivering them. That's in I believe that's in Habakkuk, that's in Zephaniah, that's in Zechariah, that's in Isaiah, Jeremiah, that's in Ezekiel. So they're all seeing the same vision just from different perspectives, and that's why their words are different and they use different verbiage, right? In diction. So but yeah, Khan, you got it, King though.
Con, I was gonna then back on with the point of Yahweh Shai coming back and tearing up the world, in a sense. This is second Ezra chapter 6 and verse 6, and it reads, then did I consider these things, and they all were made through me alone. So we all know, based on the precepts that we all know that Yahweh Shai kind of, Yahweh gave the blueprint to Yahweh Shai and kind of told Yahweh Shai to what form the earth and blah blah. Yahweh Shai is the one that made the earth and made everything happen through the spirit of Yahweh. It says, and through none other, but by me also they shall be ended, and by none other. So Yahweh Shai already letting you know that the only way this earth gonna be destroyed, or I should say government being translated over, is only through by him. And that's by Isaiah chapter 63, Revelations 19. All those things have to come to play, and it's only going to be who Yahweh Shai doing those things. You got to keep. That was another point, kind of popped up, through the spirit.
Yeah, Khan. That's exactly right though, Khan. And yeah, Khan. If brothers didn't have anything else, who's going to keep going in second Ezra chapter 2. So the point of bringing out these points of precepts is to show Israel that it's possible. It's not a far-fetched idea for John to be seeing the same vision that another prophet has seen, because it's not a new thing or some great thing. Oh, that's not allowed. A prophet can't see the same thing as another prophet. What you mean? Yeah, that's totally possible, because the Lord will do it as he will, man. Right? So yeah, Khan. So let's go to verse
second Ezra chapter 2 and verse 42. Read it again. I, Ezra, saw upon the Mount Zion a great people whom I could not number, and they all praised the Lord with songs. And in the midst of them there was a young man of high stature, taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marvel at greatly.
Yeah, Khan. And so that young man of a high stature, which was taller than all the rest, is talking about Yahawashah, right? And he's putting crowns in their heads because remember the Lord said in James 1 and 12, he said, "Blessed is a man that endured temptation, but when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord had promised to them was love that love him." So yeah, so you want to be receiving a crown, meaning your dominion, right? But yeah, Khan.
Verse 44. That's like it. Keep going, see, King.
Yeah, Khan, you got it.
Verse 44. So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of Yahweh. Now are they crowned and receive palms. Then said,
yeah, you got it, King Khan.
Then said I unto the angel, What young person is it? Is it that crowned them and giveth them palms in their hands? So he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of Yahweh, whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord. Then the angel said unto me, Go thy way, and tell my people what manner of things and how great wonders of the Lord Yahweh thou hast seen.
Khan, that's a mighty precept, man. That's a mighty precept. And so the point is, and this is how you know he's talking about the same word, similar vision, right? It says, These be they that have put on off the mortal clothing and have put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of the Most High. Now they are crowned and receive palms. Let's go back to Revelation 7 and 9. Literally says, right? All nations, kindreds, people, tongues, stood before the throne, for the Lamb. Who's the Lamb? Yahawashah. Who are they standing before right here? The Lamb, again, which is Yahawashah, right? Clothed with the white robes and palms in their hands. So, they got palms in their hands in Revelation 7 and 9. And they also got palms in their hands in Revelation in 2nd Ezra chapter 2. So it's talking about the same vision, right? And what's another thing too? In verse 13, it says, that's crazy. It's like, can you read verse 13 real quick, God?
It says, read, this is Revelation 7 and 13. It reads thus, And one of the elders answered, saying unto me, What are these which are arrayed in white robes, and whence come they?
So you say, who are these that are arrayed? It's like you're arrayed in white robes. Where they come from? Khan, you got it, King.
And verse 14, like the brother say, the same verbiage, the same words.
Same words.
Where who's they coming in arrayed? Verse 14 too. It says, And I said unto him, Sir, thou knowest. And he said to me, These are they which came out of great tribulation. And like the brother, second Ezra, great tribulation is putting off the mortal clothing, put on the mortal clothing. So like you put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal clothing. It says, and have washed their robes and make them white in the blood of the Lamb.
That's right. So it's the same thing. Look, verse 45. It says, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of God. Right. So it's the same thing. All right. It doesn't take even in verse let me see, 39, it says, which are departed from the shadow of the world. It's the same thing. You depart from the shadow of the world. That means you put off the mortal clothing, you put on the immortal. You see that? Meaning you put off that old man, you put on the new man, right? And have received glorious garments of the Lord. And in verse 13, they're arrayed in white robes. And that white robes is talking about, it's symbolic for that what? For that righteousness, which is also going to prove who these people are with that white robe. Can anybody just wear the white robe that the Most High has given them? No. You have to be a certain person. So let's go to somebody. Let's go to Revelation 19, right? Gotta go precept upon precept. Revelation 19, and let's just start at verse 7, right?
This is Revelation chapter 19, verse 7. Let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife have made herself ready. And to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white, for the fine linen is the righteousness of saints.
Wait, what's
And
the fine linen?
the righteousness of saints.
Bow, bow. So that fine linen is the righteousness of the saints. That's what it's symbolic for. That's why they're arrayed in white robes, is because they're symbolic. It's symbolic for their righteousness, and not just any righteousness, the righteousness of the saints. Now we already know who the saints are, right?
Mhm.
Hey, every brother can pull a precept on that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll let brothers pull up precepts on that through the spirit, or any other precepts brothers had on that.
Okay. You got to get.
Okay, and I was going touch on the point of them with the white, with the and the works that goes into being washed in of going into Revelation, what the brothers just bringing out. So like, yeah, I want to get that verse again. Oh yeah, with the white robes and all that, because the elect has to be sealed. And what we're going into also too with that great multitude is the 1/3 and the 144,000 are part of that 1/3. But like the brother was saying in the beginning of this video, these are the top men. These are the top men of Israel, the top of the elect, the top of the righteous, right? I just want to get this real quick. This book of Isaiah, chapter 1 and verse 16, and it reads. Remember, this is going into Israel. When brothers read this chapter, they go up the verse. The Lord says the ox knows his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But my people Israel did not know. Right, going into Israel. Right, he's talking to Israel. Right, he says Revelation. It's like his book Isaiah 1 and 16. It reads, "Wash you, make you clean, put away the evil of your doings from before mine eyes. Cease to do evil." Right. Learn to do well, seek judgment, relieve the oppressed, judge the fatherless, plead for the widow. So these are mighty works going into this, right? Like the brother saying, who can receive the white robes? Now we know it's just Israel that can receive that, but again, these are the elect of Israel, because 2/3 are going to be destroyed, right? It says, "Come now and let us reason together," said Yahawah. "Though your sins be as scarlet, they shall be white. They shall be as white as snow. Though they be red like crimson, they shall be as wool." Like the brothers going into when he brothers pulled the precept about the wool. Right? These are mighty works that the elect are going to have. That great multitude is going to have. Right? Because we know the 144,000, but that great multitude. I'm going down on that verse. That great multitude, those are the elect too, right? Those are also men, women, and children also, right? But I just wanted to touch on that point.
Yeah, Con, that's right, and we're going to expound more on that as well. Like the brother was saying, that Revelation 7 and 9, they're all clothed in white because they're righteous, because of their righteousness. And we know who the saints are, like how we were saying. We know who the saints are. I'm gonna just get a precept on that real quick, for in case brothers, just it's like you said. What, King?
I said, I was going to pull a precept too after through the spirit. Too.
Okay, Con, for sure. All praises. Yeah, I just wanted to pull, the classic, for example, Psalm chapter 148, verse 14. He also exalted the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel, a people near unto him. Praise ye the Lord. Right. So it's like it says the praise of all his saints. So we know that the saints are the Israelites. So when we read that in Revelation chapter it's like 7, the reason why the people that's clothed in this white is not talking about just everybody, like how the brothers were saying. Not just talking about everybody. In order for you to be clothed in white and walking with Yahawashi, you have to be a saint. And a saint is an Israelite, according to the Bible. You never see a heathen, somebody, a certain name, the Moabite, who is also called a saint. You never see that in the Bible, right? And I also wanted to get this as well, being on that white, because that white is mentioned as holy. That's why in Song of Solomon 5:10 it says, "My beloved is white and ready." Talking about Yahawashi. It's not actually or Solomon rather, but yeah, Khan saying then they're same thing, right? But uh um he's white and ready, not talking about a so-called white man, right? He's kind of red with the stringy hair. Nah, he it's just talking about his righteousness and how pure he is. That's why the Lord said, "Let your garments always be white." Meaning what? Your spirit. Let your spirit always be pure, right? You can't walk up to Yahawashi's wedding and you got stains all over your garment, on your white garment. Look, if you got all white on, hey Jake, if Jake got all white on, right? Hey, white pants, white whatever, top, you got the white shoes on, white socks, he got all white on. Are you gonna be is he gonna be eating hot wings right over his right over his raiment, his clothing, to be eating hot wings, right? From hot wings and what's something else, man? That kind of get hella messy.
Ribs.
You said what?
Beef ribs.
Yeah, beef ribs.
Yeah.
So be eating beef ribs, and I don't know if brothers eat like pomegranates, but hey, that you gotta make sure you eating that at a certain place. You know what I'm saying? Because you eating pomegranates, all that juice is what I'm saying, coming out of nowhere, and now you finish eating the pomegranate. Now that juice is all over your hand. Then it look like you killed somebody. You know, he got red juice all over. Got red juice all over the knife. Somebody come in like, damn, what the hell happened here? I just ate a pomegranate. You know, so brothers ain't gonna be doing that. You got all white on, so it's the same thing in the spiritual realm. You kind of come into the Most High's wedding. You want your garment to be spotless, right? All white, because guess what? That white is a representation of what that happiness, that pureness. That's why the so-called white man, we call him the so-called white man. We're not going to call him a white man anymore because we know what he's trying to do. Because that white in the scriptures is symbolic for what? Holiness, righteousness, and pureness. You know, so-called white man. That's why he likes to put that name on him. On himself. Oh, I'm the white man. Right? Call me the white man. No, man, we're calling you for what you are, a goddamn devil that the Bible speaks of, and the Edomite. You know. But yeah, Khan, if brother had a Salaki, real quick before you get your precept, I just wanted to get Revelation 3, right? Because we even see this account again in Revelation 3 and 4. Thou has a few names even in Sardis, which had not defiled their garments. Meaning Sardis is a certain church in Turkey, modern day Turkey, and we know that during this time there was a lot of Israelites in this region of the world. All right, that's why Khan. That's why Paul was sent there, and that's why he was preaching there, because there's a lot of Israelites, right? You had a lot of Israelites in Thessalonica, Sardis, Ephesus, right? The church of the Ephesians, they're Israelites, It says what? In Sardis, which have not defiled their garments. What is that talking about? Literally, right? Yeah. All your garments is sparkly and white. And the Most High doesn't care about your actual clothing. Your actual clothing. He doesn't care about that, man. He doesn't care how clean it is, how dirty it may be. You might have only like 5 outfits at the house. You think the Most High is judging you off of that? No, that's talking about on a spiritual level. Your garment meaning your spirit. You haven't defiled your spirit. You didn't go back into the world. You're not dabbling with all manner of sin, philosophy, doctrine. It says, and they shall walk with me in white, for they are worthy. He that overcometh, the same shall be clothed in white raiment. Right? Symbolic for that way. The Lord, he's going to give you, for example, Revelation chapter 2. The Lord said, if you overcome, I'm going to give you a white stone. What does that white stone represent? Meaning that purity, like you're able to be, it's like, what's that term? It's like you're not guilty, because back in the ancient world, that's literally something that they used to do, is in the courtroom, They will either give you a white stone or a black stone. If they gave you a black stone, that means that you're guilty of the crime that you're being persecuted for. If they gave you a white stone, that means that you're not guilty. And so Yahawah, even in that sense, on a physical level, giving you that white stone is a representation of you being not guilty. You know, and we also know who the stone is as well, Yahawah. But it says the same shall be clothed in white raiment, and I'll not blot out his name out of the book of life, but I'll confess his name before my Father and before his angels. So there's only a certain amount of people that can actually put on these this white clothing. All right, it's always being referred to as Israelites. But Khan, you got your point. All right, Salaki.
Con, that was like 90 precepts to the spirit.
Praises.
Oh, Con, I'm gonna name back up the points our brothers is making through the spirit about the white garment. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 8 and verse 7, and kind of links up with the precept Brother Gab was going into. Also, pretty much everything that we're going to. Verse 7, start verse 7, it says, Go thy way, eat the bread with joy, and drink thy wine with a merry heart, for Yahawah now accepted thy works. Hey, so literally, if you go symbolically, or spiritually, the wine, the bread is also symbolic for what? The body of the Mashiach Yahawashi. The bread is also, the wine is also coming back into the fold of Yahawashi, as we do for the Passover, the spirit, drinking the blood of Yahawashi, being in the communion with him as well. So that's also giving a professing his works and doing his works and coming back from the word of darkness to the spirit. But it says what? Verse 8, let thy garments be always white, and let thy head lack no ointment. Hey, so the garments always gotta be white in the spirit. Always gotta make sure that your garment is stay fresh and clean, like the brother's saying. Hey, brothers gotta walk around with the gloves on, with the little bib, with the plastic bib. So hey, no juice come on the garment. Like they do with the nasty sea boy, So brothers got be very mindful and careful regarding getting these sticky situations in this world. But kind of, also leaning back on use on Revelation chapter 19. I'm gonna read it again. It says, "Let us be glad and rejoice," and that's exactly what you do with bread and what you do with wine. And you eating, you rejoicing. You do with the wine, you rejoicing, you having a good time, all in the name of who? The Most High Yahawashi. It says, and give honor to him for the marriage of the Lamb. So who's the marriage? And we all know who's the bridegroom. I'm gonna get the precept, and we know Israel's that bridegroom. Who's that bridegroom? And also the constant precept we always pull Matthew. I'm gonna pull it real quick to the spirit. Matthew real quick. It's Matthew chapter 22 and verse 8. It says, then said to his servants. And so we know his servants is the Israelites. It says the wedding is ready, but they which were bidden were not worthy. And so that whole verse, that whole parable is going to bidding the Israelites back to the marriage. And we know the Israelites are the bridegroom through the spirit. But I'm gonna get Isaiah chapter 54 in verse 50 and verse 5. I'm gonna get the context of verse 1. It says, "Sing, O barren, thou that didst not bear, break forth into singing and cry aloud, that thou that didst not travail with child, for more are the children of the desolate than the children of the married wife with the Lord." So we know we're talking about the married wife of the Lord. I'm gonna drop down to verse 5. It says, "For thy maker is thy husband, the Lord of hosts is his name, the thy Redeemer of the Holy One of Israel, the God of the whole earth, shall he be called. For the Lord hath called thee as a woman forsaken and grieved in spirit, and a wife of youth, when thou wast when thou wast refused, saith the Lord. Saith thy Lord, saith thy God." So we know Israel is that wife, and Yahawashi is that the husband. But when you go back to Revelation 19 and 7, and we know the brothers pull the precepts, Psalms chapter 148, you got Psalms chapter 50 that shows you who the saints are. And it says, "Gather my saints together unto me, those that made a covenant with me with sacrifice." And we know only the Israelites made a covenant with Yahawah through sacrifice. You know, so
Mhm.
it says Revelations 19:7. It says, "Let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife had made herself ready." And that was the whole bidding of the marriage in Matthew 22, making sure that they that's not ready get ready, through the Spirit. But Khan, you got it, King.
Kind of had a point.
Con, you got it.
Those mighty points that Brother Sirach was bringing out, and going to Revelation 19:7, like I had brought out before in Songs of Solomon 1:4, right? When the elect said, draw us, we will run after thee. Let us be glad and rejoice. And that's what it's saying right here. Let us be glad and rejoice, and give honor to him, right? I had another precept on, going into that white real quick. I just want to bring this out because Jake throwing that white, like Brother Yashara was bringing out, hey, if you get one stain on that, it's over. Hey, your whole day is ruined. Your whole fit is ruined, and it's over. So like he was saying, you don't want to come. They're not gonna come to YAHAWASHI, and they got a stain on the shirt. Got to stand on his white garment, right? But the Sarah got.
Yeah, I was gonna make a quick point. What you were saying, hey, you see, because white, hey, you could easily see that stain. It's easily seen. You can't hide that, like in the blue, in this blue sweater. You can't hide that. You can't hide no stain. In that white, it's clear as day. But Khan, you got it. I just wanted to make that because that was a good point you said. In the spirit.
Yeah, Khan, and it's crazy too. Is I'm gonna bring this point out, and then I'm gonna go in on it. This is book of Mark, chapter 9. This is when YAHAWASHI took James, Peter, James, and John up to the mountain, right? This is book of Mark, chapter 9. I'll start at verse 2. And after 6 days, YAHAWASHI taketh with him Peter and James and John, and leadeth them up into an high mountain apart by themselves. And he was transfigured before them, and his raiment became shining, exceeding white as snow. Right? It says exceeding white as snow, so as no fuller on earth can white them. So you got to think that's bright. That's a bright white, and that's how the elect is gonna want. That's how the elect is gonna want to come to YAHAWASHI, with that same white garment, right? Because not all white is white. You might, somebody could have you could have like, a white shirt or something. But I know brothers seen like, I don't know if brother ever seen like, it might be a white shirt, but when you really look close at it, it's really like yellow. It's like it's like a white yellow shade. It's like a white yellow shade. Hey, the Lord's not dealing with that. The Lord's not dealing with that. And
right.
Like the brothers going into going back to Revelations 3 and 4, they're going to walk with YAHAWASHI in that white, right? No stains, not no yellow coating, where it looks white, but it's really bright yellow, But brothers got it. I just wanted to bring the part out.
Cream,
cream, yeah, cream. Hey, the Lord's not dealing with cream, yeah, that's the one I was looking for. Cream,
like a beige, man, like.
Right,
cream.
Cream with white. Yeah, those are mighty points. That's exactly right. Yeah, the Lord's not dealing with this. Summer white, Acadia white, creamy, linen white. Hey, how is this white?
It go up, King. Go up.
Like,
it was like, go to that picture right there with the black. No, up, go up. The second picture, and that's
this one.
Yeah, that's perfect. See, bright white, and like the brother was saying, to soft white. Hey, that dingy white, you've been having that shirt for years now, so it's kind of dingy now. You know what I mean? You ain't got that, but that real dingy. I was like, come on, man. And then now it's got that cream look.
You see that? Cream, man.
Yeah.
Talking about I'm righteous. I'm clothed in a white garment. Hey,
Cuz,
show up to the wedding like that if you want to.
Right.
Hey,
Right.
you're gonna get casted out.
man.
Yeah, Con. That's exactly right. Con. But yeah, Con. So all praise to the Most High. So we're bringing out these precepts because remember the people in the great multitude that John has seen in Revelation 7 and 9, they're clothed in a certain type of apparel that only a specific group of people is going to possess, according to the Bible. Okay, because we never see anywhere else, other nations being able to inherit, put on these clothing, that white clothing. You understand, like how the brothers was beautifully going into, proving with these precepts that this white is symbolic for that righteousness and that true holiness of their spirit. Because remember, the Most High doesn't necessarily care about the other nations and what they're doing, like how He cares about His own nation, right? In fact, that goes back to that famous precept, Amos 3:1 on down. The Lord says, "You only have I known out of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities, not for the iniquities of the other nations." He doesn't care about them, right? That's why He lets their sin just build up, build up, build up. And when it gets too high, and when He sees that they're forwarding the affliction, they're doing too much, He just then cuts them down. You know, just cuts them down. But in terms of His own people, hey, guess what? He doesn't really deal with them like that. And a week we go off, the Lord kind of chastises us. Take that belt, start chastising us, right away. So, and that's how the Lord deals with us compared to these other nations, you know. But brother had a precept or a point or
Yeah, kind of just like how he was going to. The Most High don't care about them. Even Ezra, he was talking to him. He kind of was like, "Hey, are you dealing with them?" He kind of asked, like, "Are you dealing with them?" Because they don't seem to get afflicted. We going through all this, but the Most High. Hey, when he's talking to the angel, but he was like, "Hey, are you dealing with these people?" Because I don't understand. They don't go through nothing. But us, hey, we get beat down. We going to this captivity, to this captivity, this captivity, to this captivity. It's like, but kind of that's that's a mighty point what you were saying. That
yeah.
that question always get people always wonder that, even like on the streets, like, okay, since a God loved us, why He put us through this? You understand that affliction comes with it. Like, affliction comes with the Most High. He can't just come down. He could do whatever he wanted to. He can come down with a big ruler and hit everybody, but that's not how He get down through the Spirit. But now you got a king.
Yeah, Con. That's exactly the point that we're trying to make, man. Through the Spirit. But yeah, Con, all praises, all praises. So yeah, let's read Revelation 7 and 9 from the top again, right? Make sure we understand this.
It's like this is Revelation chapter 7, verse 9. After this beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number. And, we kind of went, kind of got up in that, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands.
Right. So we touched on this, why they have palms in their hands. They're Israelites. We showed through the precepts, showed you what that great multitude is going to. They're Israelites. So, but why does it say all nations? Why does why does it say all nations? Why does it say kindred? Why does it say people and tongues? That's what is still confusing. Now, when you go into this word for kindreds, first I just want to boom, just put this to rest right here. Right? You go to this word for kindreds, it's the word phily. Now, it's not going to play the sound because I don't know why they just kind of took the sound off of Chrome. So, in terms of the StreamYard, but the way you say it is phily, right? Phily or phile, right? It means what? A tribe. In the New Testament, John is like a Revelation in the New Testament. In the New Testament, all the persons descending from one of the 12 sons of the patriarch David. I mean, it's like Jacob. Meaning what? An Israelite tribe. So because remember, kindred denotes nationality. Just because it says of all nations does not mean every nation or every nationality, because remember, Israelites are scattered to every nation. There's plenty of precepts on that. So the reason why it says all nations, people, kindreds, right? Um, what does it also say? Tongues. Look, you have Israelites in China. You have Israelites in France. You have Israelites in Russia. You have Israelites in Ghana. You have Israelites in every nation under heaven, right? And we're going to prove that as well. And if you're an Israelite from that nation, what language are you going to be speaking? You're going to be speaking Hebrew? No, you're going to be speaking the language of that land. That's why we're speaking English right now, bro. Right? That's why our Northern Kingdom brothers from, you know, Mexico, Central Americas, South America, they're speaking what? Spanish. Our brothers from Brazil, they're speaking Portuguese. Our brothers that's in France, they're speaking French, right? They're not going to be speaking Hebrew, right? Because they're raised in that captivity. You know, so whatever captivity you're in, whatever nation, you're speaking the tongue of that nation, right? So Khan, I'm gonna get this reset real quick. Just the classic, right? But Acts chapter 2 verse 5, it says, "And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews to keep what the Pentecost." When you read this chapter, Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven. So they came from every nation under heaven. And let's see. Let's just see how many nationalities it mentions.
Hey, Con, read the next verse, King. Read the next
Next
verse.
verse, verse 6, Khan. Now, when this was noised abroad, the multitude came together and were confounded.
Hey, so like, hey, the multitude came together. You know,
Hey, Khan.
now they be like, okay, the multitude. But hey, saying the multitude right there to the spirit. But Con, you got
Mhm.
it, King. I just made a point on that to the spirit. Con.
Yeah, Khan, exactly, right. And we're confounded because that every man heard them speaking in his own language, because the Holy Spirit had actually gave them utterance through the Spirit. But yeah, Khan, that's right. Multitude came together. And in verse 9 it says what? Parthians and Medes. So Medes, that's all the way over there by down there by Russia, right? It's not it's not in Russia, but I'm saying just down there by Russia, right? And Elamites, right? And the dwellers in Mesopotamia, that's where patriarch Abraham kind of came from, that region. And in Judea, obviously that's in Judah, in Cappadocia, in Pontus, in Asia again. Asia is what? It's not talking about China, but you, of course, you do have Israelites in China as of today. But in this time, Asia is going into Anatolia, which is also called Asia Minor, which is also called modern day Turkey, right? So you had Israelites in Asia, Pythagoras, Pythagoras and Pamphylia in Egypt, and in the parts of Libya and Cyrene, and strangers of Rome, and Jews and proselytes, Cretes and Arabians. We do all hear them speak in our tongues the wonderful works of God. So Libya is it's the same country, right? As today, right next. You see that? See Israelites at this time in Libya, you know, in Libya right here. Right now it's overran by Arabs, but you had a great population of us in Libya. So it shows you how, you have Israelites everywhere, and that's what it's talking about. That's why the Lord has to redeem us from every nation, because we're everywhere. Was he just only going to deliver certain Israelites in a certain region of the world? And the width span is only 50 miles. So if you're Israelite, you got to come over here within 50-mile range. I'm gonna deliver you. But if you're not living here in this 50-mile range, I'm not going to deliver you. Or I can't. You too far. I can't get you. Right. The Lord talking about, hey, you too far. I'm sorry, my son, you're too far. Right. I can't get you. Oh, you live all the way in Russia. Oh man, it's too cold over there, man. I can't deliver you. Right. No, what? And the Lord, hey, guess what? The Lord's going to deliver his people from every nation, man. Right. So yeah, calm. Brothers got it though.
Con, you want to get in there, Gat?
Oh, kind of the brother broke that down. The brother broke that down beautifully.
Con, all praise to the Most High.
Yeah, con,
Yeah,
con.
I was just checking the brothers had a preset. I didn't want to just hog it.
Nah, con. Yeah, we know. I got a precept through the Spirit King. Let me get this real quick. Hey, just like
Con.
the brother was going to a let me get this preset. Let me find it. I just had it, but
32.
let me get this preset real quick. Hey, if you don't know nothing about Israel, hey, Israel, that's our us being scattered everywhere. That's a curse that the Most High put upon us. You know, He literally said that, hey, He's gonna scatter us in every nation for the four corners of the earth. That's literally a promise that the Most High made if we don't keep the commandments of the Most High. That's why we are scattered in every nation. This is chapter. This is Second Ezra chapter 2 and verse 7. Actually, I'm gonna get Second Ezra chapter 1 verse 11 first. It says all the nations have I destroyed before them, and in the east I had scattered the people of two provinces, even of Tyrese and Sidon. Salakia. Nah. I'm gonna just get this preset. It says Second Ezra chapter 2 and verse 7. It says, "Let them be scattered abroad among the heathen. Let their names be put out of the earth, for they have despised my covenant." You know, so literally, the Most High literally, state that all through the precepts, the Israelites will be scattered in abroad into many nations. Like the brother said, if you not from this area, are you not from our original area, you won't be speaking. You won't speak the holy language, you know. And it's brothers that watching baseball. It kind of will have you confounded. You know, you would think the brother is a so-called black man, but the brother he's speaking Portuguese or he's speaking Spanish, and you like, dang, that brother's Hispanic, but he looks just like you, and it's not a coincidence or anything like that, because why? We know that the Israelites are scattered abroad, and we know based off of a tactics of war, that's how they strip you down. They strip you down. They beat you down. If the nation captures you, that's what they do. They take your economics. They teach your children. Now your children is acting like them. Now they speak their language. Wasn't that a Nehemiah problem? He had a problem with the men not raising their children. They barely knew the holy language, but they knew I believe the Moabite language. They knew how to speak Moabite. If I'm not mistaken. Let me see. I will be saying something.
Yeah, we could pull it up through the Spirit.
Yeah,
13.
he was kind of pissed about that, man. So it's the same thing. So my brother got there. Yeah.
So like you had a point, Huck?
I got a precept after the brother.
Okay, Con. All right.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, wait, 13 of 25. Nah, 24. I'm gonna start. Yeah, 23.
You need to start at verse 23, Huck.
All right, Khan. This is Nehemiah 13 and 23. It says, "In those days also saw I Jews that had married wives of Ashdod and Ammon and Moab, and their children spake half in the speech of Ashdod and could not speak in the Jews' language, but according to the language of the people." Nehemiah was pissed about that. When you read on, we know what Nehemiah did. And, verse 25, it says, "And I contended with them and cursed them and smote certain of them and plucked off their hair and made them swear by Yahawah, saying, Ye shall not give your daughters unto their sons, nor take their daughters unto your sons or for yourselves." So we know, even if that was going on back in the ancient world, that if the man literally had a so-called heathen wife or another nation a wife, and they were speaking another language, think about it now. When your wife is built up in this society, and your parents are built up in this society, we're gonna be speaking the same language. Our language would not be the same as it was 400 years or 500 plus years. We ain't gonna be speaking Hebrew anymore. We're gonna be speaking English. for the Northern Kingdom Spanish or Portuguese or other different dialects of so-called Spanish.
Con.
You gotta brother got had one more piece.
Con, mighty points. Brothers are bringing out mighty points and mighty facts, right? Because these are facts. Like the brother went in to the book of Nehemiah. That same thing was happening in First Ezra. Like the brother was, the children couldn't even speak the Hebrew, right? Because the fathers, the men were always out either at war or work, and the woman would spend most of the time with the children, right? Because the fathers got to be providers, and the man would come back home and can even really hold a conversation with his kid, because he's over here speaking the language of his mother, right? But I just want to get this real quick. We always bring this out at camp, because this is another problem we have, because people might say like, oh well, that was translated multiple times. Well, that's because we went into captivity multiple times. We can't stay in. We can't. Well, we're not going to keep speaking the same language. After periods of time, after we've been in captivity so many times, obviously, what the other nations do is they cut down the man. They cut down the older man and let the younger man raise up, and now they're speaking their language, right? To cut everything off. They cut us off from everything, from our language, our heritage. They cut us off from everything, right? I'm gonna bring this out real quick. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 28, right, in verse 11, right? It reads, "For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people," right? So now brothers are waking up with whatever language they knew, right? You got brothers that only knew Spanish, and they're waking up speaking Spanish, right? You got brothers on the highways and byways speaking Spanish to the Israelites, right? Speaking full Spanish to the Israelites, bringing them back into the fold, raising up the dead. You got the same thing in English, right? Brothers speaking full English, right? But we used to speak the Hebrew. The whole nation used to speak the Hebrew. Now you got the whole nation speaking all different languages, right? Right? That's going back into what we was just bringing out in Revelation chapter 7 and verse 9, right? All nations, all kindreds and people and tongues, right? All tongues now, right? You got even men from the tribe of Judah, right? You got Issachar speaking Spanish, but you even got Judah speaking Spanish too. Judah speaking Spanish, right? Israel speaking Ethiopian. Israel speaking all these languages now, but Israel spoke the Hebrew. But after going into all these captivities, that's why the Lord said, "For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people," right? And he's not just saying in just one other language, right? Because like I said again, you see now Israel is speaking all languages, right? You got Israelites speaking Russian, but brothers got it.
Yeah, con. Hey, that's exactly right. Your brothers was going into, man. Very good precepts. And so that's a common thing, man. Look, if you go into slavery under a certain nation, you think that they're just going to keep letting you just speak your tongue? Right now, of course, under the Persian and Median captivity, when we compare it to other captivities that we went under, they allowed us to keep certain of our customs. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like now, hey, in America, you're allowed to keep the Sabbath. Hey, no, you're trying to keep the Sabbath. Nobody is trying to choke you out, right? As of right now, hey, you can't keep the Sabbath. That's illegal by this, that, and the third penal code, right? Hey, it's not illegal. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you have the right to freedom of religion and stuff like that. So that's why we're able to go into this live and bring out precepts. Because if it not, if America was like a totalitarian society, then it's only like one religion, and if you don't follow that religion, you can't even do these lives. You can't even have a Bible. You can't even try to keep the law. You can't even try to get fringes. You know what I'm saying? So at least we're able right now, to have that kind of ability we can't keep every single law perfectly in this captivity, of course, but we have the means of doing so. We have the means of trying to keep or rehearsing the righteous acts. So it's kind of like that same way during that Persian and Median captivity through the Spirit, right? But obviously, you're going to be speaking the tongue of these other nations. You know what I'm saying? And like how the brothers was going into bringing out those accounts. But I also want to get this precept in Deuteronomy chapter 4 and 27. And it says, "And the Lord shall scatter you among the nations." So that's why when we go back to that in Revelation 7, that's why it says all out of all nations, or it's like of all nations, because we were scattered among the nations. And you even have what's called the diaspora, right? Diaspora, right? The diaspora is called which means version or spread of a people from their original homeland. That's exactly what happened to us, right? Of the Jewish people beyond Israel. So this term is used so much, it's used in direct reference to the Jewish people. We know that the Jewish people is really going into the Jews, right? Not the Jewish. We don't care about them. We care about the real Jews. You see that? Or Jewish people, so-called, living outside of Israel. That's the diaspora. It's in direct reference to us, our nationality, because the world knows. Damn, they even got a picture of this. See that? Look at that. That's the Spirit, right? So you mean to tell me Jewish people are up in here? Nah, man, it's the real Jews. Sierra Leone.
It's mighty.
By the it's like you said, what, King?
I said it's mighty.
Yeah, Khan. Yeah, this is mighty picture right here. I believe up in here you have Congo, you have Nigeria, I think right here and stuff like Cameroon. So you have a lot of Western African countries, and we know that. Remember, the so-called white man, he came here for a certain reason. Why he didn't go here? How come he didn't go to Ethiopia? How come he go to South Africa or Zimbabwe, right? To get our people. Now, of course, he kind of got some here in Southeast Africa, but it mainly from West Africa, because that's where we was at. Scattered where? Got some scattered over here, Georgia, over here to the Gulf Coast, some in Jamaica, some in South America, a lot in South America, right? That's why you have a lot of different types of, people in these countries. You go to, like, for example, the Dominicans, right? They'll look like what looks like Northern Kingdom, you know what I'm saying, in terms of their appearance. Some might look just like how the brother said, just pure Jake, and that's because of this, right? That's because we were scattered throughout all four corners of the earth, and of course to Europe as well, right? And this is just showing a portion of our scattering, man, because you can go to Asia and you can see our people there too, right? So it says, "Scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen, whither the Lord shall lead you." Also, the classic Tobit 13:3, "Confess him before the Gentiles, ye children of Israel, for ye have scattered us among them." So we've been scattered amongst the Gentiles, right? Let's go to John 7 and verse 35. Right? Quick precepts, man.
God.
Oh, I'm breaking up, Uck.
Nah, you kind of was, but now you good now, okay.
Oh, okay, Khan, all praises. All praises. Yeah, Khan, the water kings on the chat for letting me know through the Spirit. And yeah, Khan, if I'm breaking up, just let me know too, Akim. Most I will, or Lord willing, Khan. John 7 verse 35. Then said the Jews among themselves, "Whither will he go that we shall not find him? Will he go into the dispersed among the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles?" Showing you that what? There's the dispersed among the Gentiles, which is talking about who? The scattered Israelites around the four corners of the earth, right? Even in John chapter 11, right? I mean, there's just so many we're not going to bring out all the precepts, but right. John 11 verse 51. "And this spake he not of himself, but being high priest that year, he prophesied that Yahawashi should die for that nation, and not for that nation only," meaning not just for Judea or the Jews that's in Israel right then, but that also he should gather together in one the children of God that were scattered abroad. So it's just plain we were scattered abroad in every nation, And that's why the Lord has to deliver us from every nation, man. One more precept on that. Jeremiah 16. Oh, lucky. Jeremiah 16 and 15. But the Lord liveth that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north. The land of the north going into Babylon, on a spiritual level, going into Babylon the Great. So that's where a lot of our people are at right now on this hemisphere, North America, South America, right? And from all the lands whither he had driven them. So from the land of the north and also all the other lands like Europe, Africa, Asia, etc. Right? And I'll bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers. You see that? So yeah, God, right? And so
I got one more.
Slack, you started had. Oh yeah, precept. All right, Con, you got it.
I want
Con, I got precept after you, King.
Going on the scatter as well through the spirit. This is Baruch chapter 2 and verse 4. It says, moreover, he have delivered them to be in subjection to all the kingdoms. So literally, you in subject to somebody. I mean, you kind of you a slave in this thing. So you in subject to somebody. Just like the brother he kind of said, if you in slavery under under a nation, you gonna be. They could do whatever they want to you through the spirit. It says, and subject to all the kingdoms that are round about us, to be as a reproach and to be desolate among all the people round about, where the Lord had scattered them. And so literally, we've been scattered among all the kingdoms. Every nation, literally had their hand in in destroying the Israelites. No nation under the earth have not played a ally. Every nation, it's my turn. Oh, it's your turn. And they kind of passing us around like a football. Passing us around like a football, like we playing, like it's playing, like we the football and they playing catch in this thing. So everybody get a chance. And like the brother said, we under subjection to somebody. Hey, you gonna follow everything they got going on, just like in the Maccabees. Hey, they was literally killing us and proclaimed us. Let me get that real quick.
God.
Let me get that real quick. Second Maccabees. It's like Maccabees chapter 6 and then verse 6. It says, neither was it lawful for a man to keep the Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself to himself at all to be a Jew. Hey, so we can profess our own nationality in a captivity or under a subjection to somebody, and what makes you think you're not going to change? Our language is not going to change. They're different tongues. We're going to be speaking these different things. Just like Ezra, I believe Ezra said, hey, you heathen. He literally called his nation heathen. So people were like, oh, hey, it's a heathen right there, or Gentiles. Hey, brother, we could be Gentiles. Got that same Gentile estate. Brother, we were once Gentiles. We were once heathen as well. Not living under customs of the Israelites. But now coming back to the law, statute, commandments, understanding we can't speak fluent Hebrew, but brothers get up in that thing. They learn this word, that word. Right. They kind of put sentences together through the spirit. Like, okay, brother, we got people making prayers to the spirit. They speaking a Hebrew what we do know, or what we have been learning. But Khan, you got a key. Yeah,
Khan, and when Israel has the nations in subjection and they roll over them, all these nations, they're gonna be speaking the Hebrew. They're gonna be speaking English. They're gonna be speaking Russian. They're gonna be speaking Chinese. Because they're gonna be being ruled over by the Israelites. Right? I want to go into right, this was a prophecy in Deuteronomy, right? Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 26. And it's crazy too, because it's like, I know some brothers, growing up, of course we all, of course, we all got, we all got whooped, right? But also to another thing, I've seen people put their children in the corners. Right after you get whooped, now you got to stand in the corner. That's what the Lord did to us. But we talking about the four corners. We talking about the 144,000. We talking about the great multitude and the great multitude that no man can number, with all nations, kindreds, and tongues. Right. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, and verse 26. Right, and it reads, "I said I would scatter them into corners." Right. We talking about the four corners. Right. About the angels standing on the four corners, holding back the four winds. Right. We got it. Right. Reading on. It reads, "I would make them the remembrance of them to cease from among men." Right. And I got another precept. This is going exactly to what we're talking about in Revelation chapter 7. Right. Check this out. This is a complete cut to what that's going into. Right. I mean, this is a complete cut of what they say is going into. Oh, that's everybody. Right. Well, look what the Lord said. Right. In Isaiah. Right. Isaiah chapter 11. Right. In verse 12. It reads, "And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcast of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth." See that? We're talking about the four corners of the earth. Talking about who's that great multitude? That's Judah and Israel. That's the whole nation. Right? It didn't say he'll gather together Judah and Moab and Edom and the damn Ethiopians. Right? The Lord didn't say that. Right? That's going into exactly what we're going into. Right? The prophet John said it. The prophet Isaiah said it, like we were talking about at the beginning of this video. These prophets said the same thing. They saw the same things. They heard the same things. Right? Acts 4:20 says, "But we cannot speak the things which we have seen and which we have heard." Right? And that's what we're doing. Right? We're speaking the things which we have seen and which we have heard. We're speaking the things that the Spirit has brought all these things back to our remembrance. That we are the children of Israel. That Revelation 7 and 9 is talking about Israel and Israel only. John 3:16 is talking about Israel. Right? These things are coming back to our remembrance. That these things are true. That these things are for us. Right? But brothers got it.
Hey, that's exactly right, man. Exactly right what the brothers is going into. And so you even have Deuteronomy 28 verse 64. It talks about how the Lord is going to scatter us for all people, man. And it's like it. Now brothers already got hella priests, but it says, "And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone." And so some people might be like, "Well, I go to every nation and I see the Chinese there, so they must be the Israelites." What? Like, now I don't know if somebody actually says that, but it's true. You do find Chinese people everywhere, man. You find Moabites everywhere. You can go to the dirty South and you find Moabites over there. They're literally like everywhere, like some cockroaches or something. Hey, they're always somewhere. You find Moab in Mexico. Why is he going to Mexico? Well, why are you trying to mess with our brothers from the Northern Kingdom, man? You find them in Brazil. You find them anywhere. You find them in Russia. What are you doing in cold ass Russia? But hey, but here's the thing: the difference between the Moabites being everywhere and Israel being everywhere. The Lord says in verse 65, "And among these nations thou shalt find no ease." So it doesn't matter what country you go to, the curses are still going to follow you, right? Daddy. Still going to follow you. So even though, let's say, for example, the Moabites, they leave their land of China, right? They leave China for whatever reason, and they come to America. They come to America. They live in large. You know, they able to move in to these big old houses, newly built, right? They're able to get a Tesla, right? Able to get a Tesla, able to get a Tesla, get a good job, whatever. They able to have their own. They got their own communities everywhere. It's like living in China, but you living in America. So you just went from China to being in China. They went to America to being in China again, right? Because they got their own stores. They got that everybody speak Chinese, so you don't have to really learn the language like that. You really gotta learn English. Everybody speak Chinese anyway. You know what I'm saying? And you could be hella, and you see Jake and you see him, you see on the news how Jake is this and third, and you see on the media how Jake is a thug. So you perceive Jake as some type of murderer, some type of robber. So when he kind of comes into your shop, hey, you say hurry up and buy. You say hurry up and buy. Waxing fat off of, Jake. Jake, he's coming into your store, into your whether he has a store or whether he has a
bodega,
it's like you said, what
a bodega,
bodega. You know what I'm saying? Whether he has a bodega,
a week.
whether he has a it's like you said, what?
No, it's a week or a chicken spot or something.
God. Hey, whether he has a little Chinese store, or it's like what's it called? Like a restaurant, fast food place, right? China Walk or whatever, you know. China Walk, and Jake come in there. Yeah, I'll eat some of this. I don't know. Jake get the fried rice, the chicken fried rice, brother. That's not chicken, man. You know,
Oh,
it's hey, it's some other type of flesh. It's not chicken though. You know, could be dog, could be dog, could be cat, could be bat, could be rat. You know, now it turned into Dr. Seuss rice. Hey, Dr. Seuss rhymes, man. Could be cat, could be.
is it blue? Is it white? Is it you?
Is it blue? Is it white?
I remember that book. I remember that book.
God. See that, brothers? Remember that, man. God. So yeah, man. But see, that's the difference between these nations and us. They come to America, they get all these good things. You know what I'm saying? They will to open up a restaurant, open up. How you able to do that? You literally went from being poor in China to having money in America. So this nation is made for them, man. It's not made for us. This is our captivity. This is their pleasure. So that's the difference, right?
Yeah, Khan, hey, I want to make a point. Yeah, like the brother saying, they got Chinatown, Koreatown. Hey, they come over here set up shopping, like the brother saying, got whole towns, and
Yeah,
they eat and they live in large, whole plazas. They got plazas, communities, and all types of things, man. That's why Jake, Jake, hey, they wicked, but they wicked. They kind of knew that Asians, hey, they don't believe in banks. They said we're gonna go to how you got a whole neighborhood. Hey, Jake gonna go to your neighborhood and take your money. That's why, hey, like YG, meet the flockers. And he said, hey, find an Asian neighborhood. How you got a whole neighborhood and you just came over here? That don't even make sense, And it, man, like, yeah, they
madness.
You got Jabberwockies here, got the Jabberwockies. They want to dance like us. They want to be Jake so bad. It's crazy,
Yeah, con, exactly.
It's like I just seen this video on Instagram roaming around. It was like it's a car and a Moabite, and like it had like a split screen. It had like a split screen, and the Moabite was talking to Issachar, speaking full Spanish with the cowboy hat on. They having a conversation in Spanish. He had the cowboy hat on, right? So that just shows that, hey, nations want to be like us, man. so bad. They changing up their language, their style, you know.
Mm.
Uh, and that's for all nations. That's for all these nations, though, and not just Moab. You know, that's all of them.
Yeah.
You know, or Ammon. I'm gonna say Ammon. You know, brothers like to stump on Moab head like, hey, Moab, Moab. Hey, Ammon, man. Ammon be out here running wild, man.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
they want to be in the culture so bad, man. You know, the culture so bad. You know, but madness, man.
hey, that's right. Hey, Moab, Ham,
Yeah,
Ammon, oh yeah,
yeah.
Esau.
Kind
Oh,
of. Hey,
hey,
I
hey.
so like I seen Esau. I think I seen was it Esau? Yeah, Esau, man. I think he had braids like the braids chicks we got. Like we
Oh
had.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think I seen that not too long ago. In waves and locks. Like how you got locks? We know your hair don't. And when I mean in locks, I mean it's looking like our locks. Like how you got that? And we know for a fact you don't got woolly hair. You know. And it's crazy because our
Right,
people want to be like them, but they
right.
want to be like it. You know, that's backwards. You know, kind of brothers got precepts.
Hey, because they think it's lucky because they think,
Madness,
hey,
madness.
like the prophet Exodus, you know, like is the Lord dealing with them? Because they think the Lord is dealing with them, so they want to bleach their hair blonde, you know. They want to do all these things. They think the Lord dealing with them. Like David said, they are not in trouble like other men. They're like, damn, well they're not getting in trouble. Let me be like them, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, Khan. That's exactly right. Exactly right, man. But yeah, Khan. So without further ado, let's go back to that. Just to so we just nail it in the coffin, so we got the true understanding of what this precept is going into, right? So yeah, Khan. Yeah, let's read it from the top again, Baba Gasha.
This Revelation chapter 7, verse 9. It reads thus: After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed, clothed with white garments, clothed with white robes, and palms in their hands.
Right, and we already broke that down. It should be evidently clear that this is talking about Israelites as well. All right. So yeah, Khan. Now let's just keep going to verse 10. Or yeah, Khan, let's just keep reading through the spirit.
Verse. Oh, I got one more point.
Khan.
One more point on this, and it's kind of some like I want to say 1 through 9.
Mhm.
Because like I think you mentioned it earlier, like it's so many Israelites on the earth, like the Most High said, and we the sand of the sea. So how can you even number us? So like the brother was saying, hey, if 144 is the elect men, what about the other people?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is what we going into. And you think the Most High just cast them off as, oh, it's just 144,000. What about the rest of us, in which we are the sand of the sea? Because last time I checked, when you read Romans chapter 11:26, he says, and so all Israel shall be saved, as it was written. So all Israel's going to be saved regardless, you know.
Yeah.
And like you was going, like I was, like the precepts say, Israel is the sand of the sea. We can't be numbered. Let me get that real quick. Let me get it real
Khan.
quick. This is Hosea, chapter 1 and verse 10. It says, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it is said unto them, ye are not my people, there it should be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God, or living power. So we understand that, hey, it just can't be 144,000 of Israel and then none else. Because hey, we the sand of the sea. It's too many of us. We can't be numbered. And the Most High will just cast them off with the women, the children that haven't, that's righteous, and that the Most High deemed to fit a worthy for the kingdom. You know, kind of, I just want to point that because people like to miss that out because like it's only 144,000, but if Israel's a sand of the sea, what happened to the rest of the people? And we can't be numbered, you know, through the spirit. But let's continue on, King. I just wanted to make that point through the spirit.
Yeah, That's a good point. You know, and that just reminds me too of you know, the fact that there's only going to be 1/3 that's going to be saved. Now, this is talking about 1/3 of the whole house of Israel, like how the brother said. So if it's the 1/3 of the whole house of Israel, it can't just be 144,000, right? It would have to be again a great multitude, which no man can number. It's just it's like I'm just going to stop numbering it because it's all these people that I see, you know. And so 1/3 of like billions, billions, and billions of people is still a lot of people, you know. Really think about it. 2/3 are going to be cut off according to Revelation. I mean, it's like it, Zechariah 13. 2/3 are going to be cut off. 1/3 are going to be left therein, and that 1/3, like how the brothers were saying, is that 144,000 there with part of that 1/3, but also the families that go with that. You know, women and children. Maybe the men that didn't make it into the 144,000, but they were still worthy enough to be saved. You know, so yeah, exactly.
Damn, I had a point.
But yeah.
Damn, escaped me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because if that's the case, then that number is off. And you see, every time they bring every time they bring these doctrines or these things, they break the scriptures down, not knowing what it's going into. They make it to where that if what they're saying is true, then there's a hole in the scriptures. But the Lord said the scriptures cannot be broken.
You know, that's right.
They make it to where it's in hole somewhere or something's not adding up. You know.
Exactly. I was Slovakia literally earlier today. I was talking to a brother about that. I was trying to teach this brother about that too, because you know he's in the church. So I'm like, okay, you know, try to just talk about this Christian doctrine. And I'm like, look, if you believe in a certain part of the Christian doctrine, then you can't believe in another thing. For example, Trinity teaches the hypostatic union, that Christ is fully God and fully man. So, okay, if that's the case, how is he fully God and fully man if he never came from a biological father? How is he fully man? He'll be half man then. So you can't believe in one thing. If you believe in one thing, then you can't believe in the other. But if you believe in this thing, then you can't believe in the other. So it, like how the brothers are saying, it doesn't make any sense, bro. Like it doesn't line up with the scriptures. You know.
Okay, I think I got the point on what you were just saying. I think one of the brothers was teaching or I was teaching and I was telling the brother, he was like, hey, it's a lot of faultiness with the scriptures. I said, if you believe in one thing in the part of the scriptures, but you don't believe in this thing, that means you shouldn't believe it at all. But if one thing is true, then the whole thing got to be true. It's just the way you receiving it. It's not true. You know, one thing that's right and something in the whole everything else is wrong. That don't even make sense. You know. But anybody got another point to the spirit?
Oh,
you got it, King.
You got any point? You got a point, King?
I just want to grab this real quick. What Yahawashi said. Right. Okay. This is book of because they wanted to stone him. Right. This is book of John, chapter 10, verse 34. Yahawashi answered them, is it not written in your law, I said ye are gods? If he called them gods, unto whom the word of God came, and the scripture cannot be broken. You know, so he was quoting the Old Testament. So the Old Testament is linking up with the New Testament, and all these things are coming about. The scriptures can't be broken. If what Isaiah seen is the same thing John seen, the scriptures can't be broken. There's no faultiness, you know.
That's right.
That's right. A mighty precepts by the brothers. And yeah, I'm just going a little fast because we are reaching our time. I don't want to make this too long of a video, so just for the sake of all Israel and the fact that Brothers might have to wake up a little earlier tomorrow. So, but yeah, Khan. So yeah, Khan. Let's just keep reading with that though, through the Spirit. Mighty precept.
It's in Revelation chapter 7, verse 10. It says, and cried with a loud voice, saying, salvation to our God, which sitteth upon the throne, and unto the Lamb. And all the angels stood round about the throne and about the elders and the four beasts, and fell before the throne of their face and worshiped Yahweh, saying, Amen. Blessing and glory and wisdom and thanksgiving and honor and power and might be unto our God forever and ever. Amen.
Khan. Let's keep reading on through the Spirit.
Verse 13. And one of the elders answered, saying unto me, what are these which are arrayed in white robes, and whence come they? And I said unto him, Sir, thou knowest. And he said to me, these are they which came out of great tribulation, and have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. Therefore,
just a quick point on that, Khan, the water. It says, which came out of great tribulation. So who's in tribulation, man? Who's literally in great tribulation? Not just any tribulation, but great tribulation. Come on, now let's not play games here. When is this so-called
breaking up? Can you breaking up?
Show me that. It's not there. It's only. Oh, so like, can brothers hear me?
Yeah, you was breaking up last 10 seconds. Say what you're saying again.
Okay, Khan. Can brothers hear me now?
We can hear you now, King.
Okay, Khan. So like, I was just saying, see that's Satan. But I was just saying, look, who's going through great tribulation? The so-called white man, he doesn't go through great tribulation. All right. He's the one that creates it. But he's not the one that's going through it. Right. So the ones that's going through great tribulation is talking about the Israelites. Revelation, the classic 2:9. I know thy works, right? And thy tribulation and poverty. He's talking to the real Jews in that verse. He's saying, look, I know your works and your tribulation, your poverty, all the things that you got to go through as being an Israelite, in captivity. The Lord understands that. In fact, he came from that. He came from the ghetto, if you got ears to hear. He came from the struggle, intentionally, so that he can connect with his people more. It would make sense if Yahawashi was just born, in the king's palace, right? He was born in the king's palace. All he knows is just riches, and because Israel doesn't know that. Israel is not familiarized with having everything that they want, or having 5 cars like these Edomites have, the big houses. Israel doesn't know about it. Israel knows about the ghetto. It's sad, but that's what we're accustomed to. The ghetto, not having enough to eat, or just barely making it, or living on like the lower classes. We never really live on the higher classes, man. Why? Is because we're going the hell off, first and foremost. But we're not accustomed to living like that. So Yahawashi, hey, guess what? He understands our tribulation. And this is just further proof, showing you that, look, they came out of great tribulation. This must be Israelites, and have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. Who has the blood of the Lamb? Israelites. Again, Israelites. That's Acts 5:29 through 31. Him have God exalted with his right hand to be a prince and a savior, for to give repentance to Israel and forgiveness of sins. He shed his blood for the nation of Israel, right? In Revelation 1 and verse 5 on down, the Lord talks about how, or John, through the Spirit, he talks about how the Lord has washed us, right, with his own blood. Not literally, but physically, not literally, but spiritually. Gone, because his blood is on us. And in fact, when they delivered up Yahawashi to Caesar, or to Pilate, and Pilate was like, look, shall I crucify your king? And he was being serious. When you read that account, he's like, look, you want me to crucify your king? And they said, what? We have no king but Caesar. And he said, look, let his blood be upon us and our children. That's spiritual, because they're literally taking that credit of killing Yahawashi, but on a spiritual level, that blood is shed for his people, for them anyway. So their Yahawashi's blood is on us, right? On the nation of Israel. Showing you this Israelites. Khan, you got it, King.
Now, I wanted to make a point, like you saying, going to the Great Tribulation. Hey, we got a whole thing, Jacob's trouble. I ain't never read about Edomite's trouble,
Hmm.
Persia's trouble, Elam
Hey, that's
trouble.
right.
We really got a whole title for it. Jacob's trouble, or even just life period to the spirit. You know, hey, that's all. But all that goes back to the curses. As well. But let me keep reading through the spirit. This is Revelation 7:15 through the spirit. Therefore are they before the throne of Yahweh and serve him day and night in his temple, and he that sitteth Salaki, even like the temple. Hey, who's the only people that could go into the temple?
Oh man,
If you
that's
if you enter in his temple and you not a a priest, and you gonna get dealt with, man. We seen that all through the scriptures. Even the priest gotta make sure they they doing things in ordinance, and they doing things in righteousness, and nothing, no jot, no tittle, or they on the straight and narrow when they walk in the temple. So let alone a heathen walking in the temple, and we also know the temple is also what our bodies is Israel as a whole as well. Khan, you want me to read something, King?
Khan, but no, yeah, Khan, that's exactly right. Yeah, I just wanted to get a precept on that. What he was saying, Revelation 11:1, right?
This Revelations 11:1. It says, "And there was given me a reed like unto a rod, and an angel. And the angel stood, saying, Rise and measure the temple of Yahweh and altar, and them that worship therein. But the court which is without the temple leave out, and to measure it not, for it was given unto the Gentiles, and the holy city shall they tread up under their foot 40 and 2 months."
Right, exactly. So the Lord gave the commandment unto him, saying, "Measure the temple of God and the altar, and them that worship therein." Talking about who? Israelites. Even your Christian apologists will agree to that. It's talking about the Israelites that's in this temple, but the court which was without the temple leave out and measure it not, meaning it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Don't even bother with that. You know what I'm saying? Outside, who's outside the temple? The Gentiles, right? Who's inside the temple? The Israelites. So, it's a beautiful point brother made through the spirit, about the temple. So all you got to do is just read. So Christians, they accuse us of you taking it out of context. You black Hebrew Israelite. You don't know what it's going into, you black Hebrew Israelite. Just put the Bible down. You're just some thugs with the Bible. Okay, well, hey, we just thug for the Bible. Hey, how come we going into the Greek? We pulling more preachers than you through the spirit. We kind of going into the definitions. It's saying word for word. We're not even putting our own interpretation into it, man. No,
Hey,
we just
brothers for sure remember verbatim what this one was from one end to the next end. They can't even do that. They think like, I know it's saying the washing of your hands, and it don't follow what goes in, but what comes in, what comes out. That's all they know. Brothers can really verbatim. Okay, yeah, that's woo 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 woo, and really recite the whole precept.
Con.
That's
Hey, that's
crazy.
right.
That's
That's
crazy.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all through the spirit, man. And Con brothers making good points too. And Con Shalom, Barzia through the spirit. I know
Shalom, King.
Con Shalom, Con.
Con,
And also
hey, that's another L for them.
Hey,
Hey, this thing is undefeated.
Con.
It wasn't like that, King.
Con, that's right. And also Shalom, Yahabashina Shabrakatah to this brother as well, too. Yeah, he kind of growing up right. Con, all praises.
Shalom.
Hey, brother Uzziah said the dogs belong outside.
Yeah, Con, hey, the dogs belong outside. Right? Hey, we all know that precept. Hey, the dogs is outside. Hey, you want to let your dog just sleep on your bed? You just sleeping on your bed. You gotta,
outside.
you open the room and your dog kind of you under the covers.
Man.
Your dog is under the covers, man. Right,
Hey,
fluffing his pillow like this.
that's Edomite living, man.
Come on. That's how Edomites live.
That's Edomite living. Hey, I don't want. Hey, you outside, man.
Outside.
You need outside dogs.
Right, outside dog.
You know, little chihuahuas and Shih Tzus.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's the same thing, man. You know.
Okay.
But yeah, come. So it says in his temple. So there's a trip that they serving the Most High day and night in the temple, and he's sitting us like he sitteth on the throne, and he that sitteth on the throne shall dwell among them. Con. Let's keep going.
Verse 16, it says, they shall hunger no more, neither thirst any more, neither shall the sunlight on them, nor any heat. For the Lamb which is in the midst of the throne shall feed them, and shall lead them unto living waters of living Salaki. Let me read that. This is Revelation 7:17. For the Lamb which is in the midst of the throne shall feed them, and shall lead them unto living fountains of waters, and Yahawah shall wipe away all tears from their eyes.
Con. Hey, these are beautiful precepts. And remember when it says hunger no more and thirst no more, you know, it's not a whole Revelation 7 breakdown. I just want to touch on it. It's just talking about you're not hungry or thirsty after um you know these spiritual things, meaning you're going to be filled. It says that the look, which is in the midst of throne shall feed them. The Lamb's going to feed them on a spiritual level. The Lord said, if you drink of my water, you're never going to thirst again. Right? In John chapter 4. So it's talking about on a spiritual level. Because in the kingdom of heaven, guess what we're going to be doing? We're going to be praising the Most High, of course, and we're going to be partying. We're going to be partying through the Spirit. You know that. Hey, that's our kingdom. We're going to be eating a lot. You know. And when it says the sunlight, neither shall the sunlight on them nor any heat, is just talking about wisdom in terms of um, it being likened onto, because the sun and the light that we have right now, when you go to Revelation chapter 12, it says that the woman, she had dominion, or she sat um upon the moon and the sun and the stars were under her subjection. That's just talking about the wisdom and the knowledge and the dominion and authority that Israel had at one point in time, right? That sun and that light is a representation of, for example, your notes. You know, you're not going to have to go to your Bible and keep reading it every day to know the word. You're already going to know the word. That's what that means. You know, you're not going to have to watch video every day or watch a video every so often, you know, because you forgot a breakdown or something like that, or because you don't know this breakdown. You're going to know all the breakdowns as much as the Most High gives you. You know, you don't have to search it out anymore. That's what that's going into, right? Just on a surface level. Con, you got it, King.
That's like the brother was saying, you know, that's literally going to the wisdom and knowledge and understanding. And, you know, even on another level, like even right now, the sun and the heat that's going on is the wicked knowledge. You know, everybody want to know what the pseudoscience they got going on. But in the times that, like the brother was saying, we're not going to be trying to, like the brother said, watch the videos or break it down, or doing lives like this to the Spirit. Because why? That's even going to what the second covenant, the second covenant. That's Hebrews chapter 8 and in 8 it says, for finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continue not in my covenant, and I regard them not, saith the Lord. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my laws in their mind, just like the brother was saying. Hey, he gonna put the laws in our mind. We're not gonna be going off. We're not gonna be like, oh, what law is that? What ordinance we gotta do for doing that? What we're not gonna do. We ain't gonna think that. It says what? I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts. Hey, so we're gonna be acting upon it. You know, we're not gonna go to toss to and fro. Hey, brother, go off one day. Hey, because like the precepts were saying, hey, we're gonna put off that mortal clothing and put that immortal clothing. Hey, once you got that immortality, hey, we see all these DC movies and Marvel movies. Hey, once you got that immortal clothing on, man, ain't nothing could really penetrate you. Nothing could hurt you through the Spirit. It says, I will put my laws into their minds and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a God. And this is the point. And they shall be to me my people, and they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord, for all shall know me from the least to the greatest. So that's plain. That's plain cut, dry, that we're not going to be sitting on live at what 11:47 for 2 hours and 9 minutes teaching the word and teaching what Revelation 7 and 9 is saying. Brothers are not going to be doing lives. No, never. No brothers that do Monday lives, Tuesday lives, Wednesday lives, Thursday lives. Any brother that's doing a Friday live as well. I'm talking about all Israel. A Saturday lives, Sunday lives. No brother's going to be doing this. And that's another cut to Israel, to so-called Christianity. They say we in the new covenant. How we in the new covenant and y'all still on the pulpit teaching people to give tithes? Are y'all teaching people, hey, y'all could do this and y'all can't do that? That's blasphemy. And y'all teaching, well, I ain't gonna say y'all teaching, but y'all got the Bible in your hand and y'all read precept. That's it. I ain't gonna say y'all teaching because I think I'm going too far saying y'all teaching, but y'all saying y'all know what's going on. Y'all kind of saying y'all would say y'all teaching, but y'all not, but we don't supposed to be teaching if we in the second covenant. So that's plain, so just like the brother was saying in Revelations, they said neither shall the sunlight hit sunlight on them or nor any heat. We ain't gonna be fiending for the breakdowns no more. Brothers gonna have that in their mind. Brothers gonna be living in that, and that's literally the second covenant, the spirit. Can
brothers read that last verse? That last verse heavy.
With Revelation 17,
verse 13.
Oh, it's like Revelation 7.
Oh no, Hebrews 8 and 13.
This is Hebrews 8 and 13. It says, in that he saith, a new covenant he had made the first old. Now that which decayed and waxed old is ready to vanish away.
It says ready to vanish away, right? We in the last days. It never said it never said it was vanished away. It is ready to vanish away, right? Just like we're ready for that that city that for we have no continual city, but we seek one to come, right? Like Yahushai said, the wedding is ready. Everything is ready. Like he told Ezra this. The kingdom is already prepared for you. Everything's ready. Right, everybody got it.
Yeah, that's my point right there. Hey, that's a beautiful precept.
Come on. That's right. All praises, man.
And the author of Hebrews didn't just make this up too, So
yeah,
he ain't just conjure the new second covenant. No, it coincides. Right there. It said it over there. Just like how the whole time that's the whole thing we're saying. Just like Isaiah had the same vision, just like in Revelations.
That's right.
That's right. And it's like the brother said a quick question. He said, "Was the kingdom like that before, as far as having understanding, having it in our hearts?" No, it wasn't. It wasn't like that in terms of even during the time of Adam, right? Even during the time of Adam, when you go into the book of Genesis, he was put in the Garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it, meaning that he was there in terms to teach, right, the law, statutes, commandments, right. That's in Second Ezra, the 3rd chapter. It'll tell you about that too. So we never really had the laws and understanding in our hearts, like how we're going to have it in the new covenant, right? We never really had that. We always had to resort to either oral. Remember, because up until Moses, we always had the oral law, right? So we would recite things off the oral law. The reason why Abraham knew the law is because he was taught it, right, by orally, But through Moses came with the tablets, right? So we can resort to it on paper, what I'm saying, on the tablets. We can, all right, look, that's the commandment right there. But up until that point, we'd always have to, in terms of having it in our heart, we had it in our mind, but we was going off then, because Adam, he went off, You can't have the laws and all the understanding in your heart if you're going off, right? So Adam, he went off. Certain of our people, still went off. Yeah, they had it in their mind in terms of meditating in it. The Lord always commands our people, even at the time of Joshua, meditate in the commandments. You know, but we were still going off at that time. So, in the kingdom of heaven, the Lord said in Isaiah chapter 60, and I believe the last verse, it says that all that people shall be righteous, right? So everybody's going to be righteous. Nobody's going to be going off, and that's the time that we coming in. We're coming to most high willing. We're part of that number. But yeah, Khan, just to answer the brother's question, brother had a preset, and then after that, we're gonna go through the spirit. But
Yeah, like the brother that was saying, it always been that thing, even from from the beginning. But Adam always had he that seed of evil was always been sold into Adam. Because they be like, oh, if Adam was perfect, hey, why did he go off? Hey, that it was supposed to happen the way it's supposed to happen. So it could become what the brother said. It's gonna be a so-called what they call utopia in the society. I'm gonna
right,
just bring this piece up. This is Second Ezra chapter 4 and verse 5. Verse 30. So like you, for the grain of evil seed have been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning. So the evil seed had always been sown in Adam. It just wasn't something he just was taught. It said, and how much ungodliness had it brought up until this time, and how much shall it yet bring forth until the time of threshing come. So all these things have to come to play for us to be literally having everything in our mind and our heart to where we will never go off. So kind of like the brother said, that never was a thing according to even the beginning. It always was that balance. Okay.
that's right, Khan. Yeah, Khan. Yeah, Gary, you had anything else on that? Blue spirit, Allah.
Right.
Okay, all right, Khan. Hey, all praise to the Most High. So yeah, we reached our time through the spirit. Hey, greatly appreciate everybody that's been tuning in, and showing support on the comments. Being interactive. Hey, we definitely see that. The Most High definitely see that, and all praises to the Most High, God, man. Lord willing, we're going to continue to do these videos, on the Friday Night Lives, man, as much as the Most High will allow us to, and Lord willing, this is a good edifying video. So without further ado, if brothers got closing presets, we can, you can bring it out, and then we'll close up through the spirit.
I got a closing precept. Can brothers hear me?
Khan.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 44. And it reads, therefore be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not, the Son of Man cometh. So brothers got to be ready at an hour when you think not, the Son of Man cometh. In the hour when you think not, all hell is going to break loose. Right. So be ready, right? And what we've been going over tonight, have that white garment clean, right? Be ready. Be ready for the wedding. Be ready for the angels to let go of the four winds of the earth. Because as at an hour when you think not, those angels are going to let go. Right? Brothers got it.
That's right.
Let me just get this preset through the spirit. Khan, this is Second Ezra chapter 24 and let me see. In verse 32, it says, I will yet make doctrine to shine as the morning, and I will send forth her light afar off. I will pour out doctrine as prophecy and leave it to all ages. Behold, that I have not labored for myself only, but for all them that seek knowledge. And for so ultimately, a pouring out the spirit and getting the rightful understanding and casting down all imaginations. And that's what we the Most High blessed us to even be on the live for today through the Spirit to make sure that hey, we not laboring for ourselves, we laboring for people that acquire wisdom, that acquire a stability in their mind and stability in their walk to understand these things. So if somebody come up to you, a saying Revelations 7 and 9 is about this and this and that, you can be like, it's about this and this and that. Because why you was your ear inclined to wisdom that brothers was teaching on the live today, and the brothers that taught us before, and so forth, through the Spirit. And ultimately, the Spirit, ultimately something in your mind to increase everything that you have heard and learned until this life. So, Shalom.
Hey, that's right. That's right, man. Beautiful precepts by the brothers. I got this precept on that too. John chapter 5 and verse number 39. It says, search the scriptures, for in them ye think ye have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me, and ye will not come to me that ye might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that ye have not the love of God in you. I am come in my Father's name, and ye receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one of another and seek not the honor that cometh from God only? You see that? So the point I want to touch on is the fact that, look, the Lord said we got to search these scriptures, man, right? If we call ourselves, you know what I'm saying, being warriors for YAHAWASHI, soldiers, we want to search these scriptures and rightly divide the word. You know what I'm saying? Anybody come up, any Christian, Muslim, any Satanist, you know, we're going to deal with every type of person, man. We're not going to run away from them. We're going to confront them and say, look, this is what the Lord is saying, right? And pull these precepts according to the best, according to our ability through the Spirit, power, YAHAWASHI, right? So the Lord said, look, search the scriptures, man. That's what we're going to do. We're going to try to find this truth, man, and gain more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, right, through the Spirit. So with that, all praise YAHAWASHI. I want to thank Cyrek and Gab for hopping on through the Spirit. This brother Yasharallah.
His brother Cyrek.
This is brother Gab.
Come back to y'all yet another video through the Spirit, power, YAHAWASHI. Hey, Kwame Yasharallah. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.